I tell you, I appreciate it, because then tonight when they did what they did, I couldn't believe what's wrong with them.
Well,
I told them, I went and got the cameras and got the everything, and then they use it and take it, and there I sit with
Here
nothing.
you sit, and look, and now it's right here in the album.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for you.
Oh, no problem. I'm very glad to help.
I love you.
I love you too. I love you too.
For a little more now than 10 years, I have been living with the symptoms and the diagnoses of dementia, probably of the Alzheimer's type.
I was working in the high-tech industry where you could fix almost any problem by throwing some more resources at it. So I spent a lot of time trying to fix what was wrong with my father and talking with researchers trying to find answers.
Our world of care for people with dementia is very inadequate to the needs of these people. We tend to rely on potentially harmful or ineffective medical treatment.
Can you imagine any of us being taken out of our homes and a week later be in a situation where you are told that you have a hallway you're going to live in the rest of your life?
No.
I mean, it is unimaginable to me that the system that is supposed to be caring for our elderly loved ones has just that as an option. I was a regional manager for a Minneapolis-based barbecued rib company, and then one day I got a call that my mother, who had been in assisted living, was in the hospital, and it changed my life. She had overdosed on her medications in assisted living. Her memory was failing her, and she knew how important it was that she take her meds, so she just continually kept taking them until she wound up in the hospital. She had made me promise that I would never put her in a nursing home. It was just a heart-wrenching decision. I got a call from the nursing home that she had escaped, and they were all very, very upset and trying to find her. They assured me that she had not gotten out of the building, but they couldn't find her. And that went on for 4 hours before they actually found her. And she had managed to get on the elevator, go down to the basement volunteer coffee shop, and convince the volunteers she was another volunteer. So this whole 4-hour period, she was up and down going on different floors with the other volunteers. And she had only been there a short time, so nobody really recognized her. And now, today, it's very funny. Back then, it wasn't funny. They immediately told me that she had to be put in a locked unit because the liability that it posed for them. Immediately when they put her in the locked unit, she went berserk.
Her behavior just made it almost impossible in that setting to give her the care she needs. So she was given a lot of drugs. She was drugged up, and just kind of knowing what a spitfire she was, and then seeing her drugged up and sitting in a jerry chair was disheartening.
When I would visit, immediately her eyes would light up. She couldn't say my name, but the tears would start running down her face, and she'd say, "Help me." And I could do nothing.
So that was her motivation, is seeing her mother do that and knowing that things could be done much better.
Thy sons and daughters true will proclaim thee near and far. They will guard thy flame and adore thy name. Thou shalt be a northern what? Star. Now, I don't know that middle part.
I just wanted to try to do something different and could not get any support for. I was a barbecued rib salesman. Every bank I went to reminded me of that and said I did not need to even think about going into healthcare. I was also 55 years old. My own children wouldn't support my decision to try this. They thought I was going through a terrible midlife crisis at 55.
I remember going to a town meeting that was called because her neighbors that lived on either side of her were very upset that the ranch was built across the road. That was the Darwin Ranch. And they sued her, saying that the ranch was already built. And they sued her, saying that it was too noisy, too much traffic on the road because of employees and families, and they wanted her to tear it down or somehow get rid of it. And it was ugly.
It's been fraught with barriers and things, neighbors that didn't want demented elderly across from their lake homes. They thought they'd be running around outside naked. And, you know, it's all that not in my backyard.
Now for me, when I was diagnosed, I was sure I was going to die soon because I read in one of the internet pages I saw that the average length of life for someone who's been diagnosed with dementia is 10 years. Well, I'd be almost dead by now if that was true. It's not true.
I want people to get rid of the myths and stigmas, to recognize people with dementia or Alzheimer's or one of the other many types of dementia as whole human beings. All of the people have the same needs, and most of those needs at this stage of their life, a lot of it is emotional. And those are the things that don't get attention unless you have enough staff that are able to do that. So we have a 1-to-3 staff ratio. Plus we have registered nurses on staff in each home, and we have activity people and animal specialists, and those are all in addition to the 1-to-3 direct care staff ratio.
Okay. He sure likes those carrots. What kind of sound is he making?
Slobbering sound.
He's slobbering. That's a good sound, isn't it? Sign of a good
I think it's the highlight of my week. I just love animals. I love interacting, and I think she is fantastic.
We've had a lady on her deathbed that was 3 hours from passing away, and our animal therapy person brought the horse into this lady's bedroom. And although she hadn't responded to family or anybody for several hours, she must have smelled the horse when it came up right next to her by her bed, and she reached up her hand and grabbed its muzzle and was petting it.
Oh my goodness.
My dad was declining in health, and he was forgetful. I don't know if he quite got to the dementia part, but he was miserable in the nursing home where he was. And Judy allowed him to come to Lakeview Ranch. He was there for the last year of his life, but it really totally changed his outlook and relieved his depression, and he just kind of blossomed.
Change has to happen because for years we've been stuck in this rut with reimbursement for need, which the current payment system, they are trying some different pilot programs now, but the current payment system is tied to you get more money if someone's behavior is out of control. So what's the incentive to do it?
I mean, I've seen over the years the struggles that she goes through to keep this place.
With the medical assistance and the shortfall in cost versus the money coming in, there was always that struggle. There was always the struggle trying to meet the payroll.
I want you to know how much I care about every single one of you, how devastated I was when the bank changed their policies, which a lot of banks have. They used to just cover everything knowing that all the money was coming in monthly, but they changed their mind. And so we've had to change the way we do things, which is fine. Care should not be limited to your funding source. And so we struggle all the time. Shortly after the first 6 months of having the ranch and having people on Medicaid, little money I had was gone. So my commitment here from the beginning has been not just to address the necessary changes in the model of care and how people with dementia are cared for, but to also make that care available to everybody, no matter what their financial status.
What are they doing? I'm doing your hair, because you're gonna be looking just, you're gonna be hot. How about that? You wanna be hot, don't you, Phyllis? Not hot like a hot flash, like a hot chick.
But Judy is an extremely kind, intelligent person, creative, and she's somebody that takes risks. She never takes no for an answer.
Well, I realize that a lot of people call me stubborn.
You know, she's just so dedicated and so focused. This is her, you know, this is just her passion.
Judy Berry, founder, Lakeview Ranch Dementia Care Foundation in Darwin, Minnesota.